Making a movie, even a short movie like this one, is an amazing undertaking. By the time we're done, we'll have over 7,000 man-hours into this 27-minute project. The most important thing that I can do is hire the right people.
I got to design the shots, look at the script, interpret it into scene by scene, and put it into shots. Yep. Okay. Also, I work with casting the actors, finding the right people for the roles, and then we rehearse the scenes. I give them direction on the performances before the shoot, maybe 5 or 6 days before the shoot, and then when they get on the shoot itself.
Now, boy! Mr. Priddell, I need backup at Bernie's off the 6.
The key to having a successful movie is having great department heads.
The director of photography is the guy who looks after the way the movie looks. Looks after the lighting, the camera movement, tries the best that he or she can to tell the story visually.
Follow it over, comes over and lands here. Okay. There shouldn't be anything in the parking lot.
I work not only directly with the director in planning the schedule, the shots, what actors are in what scenes, what extras, what props, everything. I break down the script in complete detail and then schedule it accordingly within the time limits we have. But I also have to answer to the producers in terms of how we're doing in time, schedule, cost for extras, cost for overtime, and also to make sure creatively they're getting what they need.
First off, in the morning, he gets together, he makes sure that the signs are all up so everybody knows where to go to park. He makes sure the trucks are all parked, all the equipment trucks, the equipment vans, the food vans, the caterers all set up so people get the food when they're there. The cast trailers, makeup wardrobe, everything's set up, everything's marked, so everybody knows where to go so they don't have to walk around in a daze asking.
A lot of it is wrangling the actors and getting them through costume, makeup, on set, on time, when they need them, know when they're on set, when they wrap. Also, there's extras. I had to get approximately 40 extras for this film. And finding them, making sure they understood what to wear, kind of the premise of the show. On the headsets, it's kind of a network. We need, whenever there's a question, usually the AD is the person to ask questions. Where so-and-so, is so-and-so here yet? I need art department, I need this, I need makeup, I need that. So we listen and then we run.
The most important thing the first assistant cameraman does is to make sure there is no dirt or dust in the film gate.
Good gate.
He also measures and sets focus for each shot.
Keeping the film out in the dark, putting it in the film cams, sending it off for development.
The still photographer takes photos to use for publicity.
Real quick.
Makeup artists prepare the talent to get ready to go on camera and make sure that they're camera ready at all times, which means nobody has excessive shine, that their hair isn't sticking out in unusual places.
One of the first things we do is we want to look over the script and read that. Usually it takes at least 3 to 5 times through a script. You need to make all your special notes. If there's anything that could be a problem, that might need to have doubles, triples. A lot of times you have to consider, is there a driver involved? Is there a stunt person involved? Are they always the same person? Are they close to the same size? Include shoes, gloves, anything.
Give me my jacket.
For fittings, we usually call the talent up, ask them if we could meet with them, get them their sizes, find out how they perceive their character, go out shopping, start looking for clothes that fit them, what their character would wear for it, and then we get together with them and have them try everything on, make sure it fits all right, make sure that they're not being restrained in any way by the clothing.
I'm the liaison between the producer, director, and editor. The editor relies on my notes to edit a film. I keep a master timing log for the script. I keep track of all the sound rolls and camera rolls and what take is shot on what roll. I maintain continuity and overall continuity for the film. I make sure that the director has his or her completed shots so they can edit the film, and make sure that the actors are saying the dialogue correctly and that their actions coincide with what the master shot, what was previously shot.
When it gets closer to lunchtime, I make sure that the caterer is set up for lunch. I make sure that we get the cast and crew through first, then extras, any visitors. So you guys want to know what a second AD does? Let me tell you. When you're not working with the actors, you're working with the equipment.
Safety is always a priority, and what happens a lot of times if you overlook even the simple things, that's when people get hurt. So my job is to kind of make sure that all the little pieces of metal that are sticking on the corner are banged down, and just basically looking after the actors and looking after the set and making sure that what the actors are bouncing off of or hitting or rolling over is safe. There's ways of using boxes and using dirt and putting everything in a certain way to fall, a certain way to protect yourself so that you can do that over and over until you get the shot.
The biggest concern in the film is to make sure that all the dialogue is distinct.
I gotta go to the bank and talk to them and see what they got to say.
No, I'll go to the bank for you. And collect your house and your truck. What for? I'm not the one who stabbed you in the back. No!
A boom operator basically holds the boom mic and captures the audio for the mixer and assists the mixer with anything he needs.
The video assist operator feeds the image that the DP sees in the camera viewfinder to a small monitor, so the director can see the shot as it will appear on film.
Firstly, we have to study the script, and we go scene by scene to find out what kind of set dressing we need and what kind of props we need. I have 4 people. I have an art director, I have a set decorator, and an on-set dresser. That actually, they are everything.
The leader of the grip department is the gaffer.
And I report directly to David, who's our director of photography. And he lets me know exactly what he wants, and it's my job to organize it and make it all happen as fast as possible. My guys have different talents. Some are good at pushing dolly, so I'll put them on dolly.
The electricians on the set have to get everything wired so that it's safe and we don't blow any fuses or anything like that.
The other guys are just good at gripping and electric, setting lights and setting C-stands and flags and laying dolly track. They know how to do it all.
Well, Craft Services provides all the snacks and drinks for the crew throughout the day. Generally speaking, there's a breakfast when the crew first arrives, or something munchy that's substantial like the sandwiches we have here for them to have. And then throughout the day we have chips and chocolates and candies and just anything that might make them energized and happy throughout the day. Catering handles the main meals. They handle the substance. Like if we're going to have a dinner, they bring a full-on meal. They'll bring like meat and potatoes and salads and things like that, whereas we just handle the snacks and the light meals.
I also have to make sure all the paperwork, all the time cards are filled out at the end of the week from the crew. I have to make sure that any damages, anything like that's reported on the production report at the end of the day. During all this also I have to do what's called a call sheet. A call sheet I make up with all the names of the crew, the cast, what times they need to be in.
You have to be listening all the time, and you have to be ready to do what anybody ever tells you to do. And it's challenging because you're on your feet constantly.
I coordinated the actors' arrival and their hotel arrangements and their any other kind of needs, and I have spent in overtime in the last 4 weeks. I've probably spent over 100 hours of overtime.
When they're getting ready to film, they'll let us know over the headset so we can make everyone shut up, so we can make everyone be quiet. We walk around the set and we make sure there's no movement, no sound. We keep the area clear.
And let's not forget we do location scouting and driving around these hills. I think you came with Lance to find this place. One Friday night we came up here and looked.
We try to find the actors and the props, and we try to find whatever they need. We basically run from morning till night. Okay, copy that. Okay, I have to go.
I'm working on the petty cash. I'm trying to add up all of these receipts and make sure it all balances.
My main purpose is to make sure that there's no fires. With the brush as dry as it is and the fire season what it is today, we can't take a chance of having a fire, especially in this canyon. Some of the lights that you guys use in your movies can set grass on fire. It's just to keep things safe and primarily keep fires down.
Then at wrap, I make sure that I get everybody's information, their out times, all the paperwork. I put it on a production report. It has everything that we did, the scenes that we shot, how much film that we loaded, how much we shot, how much was good, how many sound tapes we used, everybody's in and out times, all the in and out times for the actors, plus if they went into meal penalties for going over 6 hours before they got fed, and so on and so forth. And once I get that all done and I make all the rest of the calls for the people coming in the next day, then I'm able to pack up and go home, which is usually about an hour to hour and a half after crew is gone.
When we do night scenes, we're going to need more grip equipment, more lighting equipment, things like that. And I definitely think more manpower, in the gripping department would be nice to get things done quicker, because I really think that time is money, and the less people we have, the longer it takes, and then we need to shoot more days, and that usually ends up costing more than it would per man hour.
These little pictures are difficult because you have to tell a story just the same way as if you were telling a big movie, but you don't have very much money. You don't have very much equipment. The scene we did last night, for example, where we shot the whole exterior of this place at night, where the guy rides up on a motorcycle. On a show like this, where we have half a dozen lights and a very small crew, then you have to think differently. So that's much more challenging than doing a bigger picture.
Last night for the night exteriors of the bar and restaurant here, we had a light bouncing into it. It was a big 12 by 12 and it had a light bouncing into it, which covers a big, wide, soft light for general ambient. We were lucky last night that it wasn't windy, because otherwise we have to rope it down, and every time you move it, it's a big deal because you got to unrope it and then move it and then rope it back up.
We had to have the CHP out here closing off the road for us at either end, and I would give them a cue when to lock it up and when they could let traffic go. And not only is it a safety issue with cars driving by and having cars drive into the shot from the highway and drive out, but it's a sound issue, so we can keep it good and quiet for a soundtrack.
The fact that we're doing a lot of this at night sort of adds an extra bit of danger to it. So really all you really just have to do is be aware of your surroundings and be aware of the people around the car. And that's another thing that I'm sort of responsible for, is making sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be, they're on their mark, the car goes from one mark to the next mark, and everyone is where they're supposed to be so no one gets hurt.
It's for the ride.
The biggest challenge was dealing with the Mike character. He rips his shirt, so every single scene you have to know when what happens, when it breaks down. If we're not filming in order, the rip has to be consistent.
The biggest challenge on this show is maintaining the continuity with set dressing, with the wardrobe, taking a lot of continuity stills, Polaroids, so everything matches. We shoot out of sequence. Therefore, I have to make sure that if there was a punch to the left cheek, that bruise remains on the left cheek and not on the right cheek.
We had 5 days to shoot the short film in, and we're doing night exteriors and interiors, plus fight sequences, working with extras, trashing a bar, picture cars. It was very ambitious for what we had the time to do, and with the budgetary issues as well, and the manpower. But it's a very hard-working group of people and a very ambitious group who goes in there and gets it done.
The most difficult grip job we had was when Mike goes storming through the bar and the camera follows him handheld. That was really hard because the whole room was seen at one point or another. So all the lights had to be really well hidden. The grip team had to really make sure it was safe with the cable was out of the way of the director and the camera and all the crew running through with the sound.
There were a couple of scenes that required breakaway glass. It was a difficult shot where we didn't have enough budget to buy enough bottles to break, so we have to use half and half. We have half breakaways and half real glass. Actually, it was funny because in that scene where the actor breaks the glass, he really breaks everything that he found his way. The same with the scene on the breaking the glass in the doors, real glass, when he's breaking there. Breakaway is very expensive, and it will take a lot of money to do everything the right way, but that's the part of the challenging.
Can always use more people, no matter what. You can, in any show, more people the merrier.
It would be very nice to have about 8 people.
One more light, one more magazine, one more hour, one more shot, one more something.
As you can see, our lovely bees, we've been feeding 68 crew members a day and about 100 bees.
Then I go home and try to get a couple hours of sleep, wake up in the morning, do the same thing over. I'll start by getting here, making sure the signs are up, and so on and so forth.
Let's roll sound.
Rolling, quiet please.
Marking. Set. Action.
Film has an emotional impact, and video is just something that you just watch. I think in this case, in the Forgiven film, we definitely want to create an emotional impact that I think only film can do.
You slate, son. You slate.